We used to talk a ton of numbers here on the podcast, but as the expansion happened, it was almost impossible for us to just continue to talk numbers all the time, every single state, and there wasn't a uniform release from all the states, and so who knows, we would be giving you updates from one state that was only a month old and another one would be 2 or 3 or 4. So we decided probably best to only stick to when there's an outlier or something we really want to hit on here, and I think this fits the bill.
Yeah, this is definitely an outlier. It's something that is clearly worth discussing because it goes against the narrative that we have seen for quite a while. More than $1.25 billion wagered in New Jersey in September. And that is the highest single month of handle that we've seen in New Jersey. And Matt, you know as well as I do, notable because of the fact that this time last year, we were talking all about declining handle in New Jersey and the fact that it was New York's first NFL launch with online sports betting and saying, oh, yeah, we knew this was going to happen eventually. Everybody who was coming over from New York is going to stop playing in New Jersey where they've been making the trip over the bridge. Well, New York's handle has not fallen and New Jersey's handle has gone up. So it's very, very interesting. We're just starting to dig into those numbers, but worth noting because the narrative that I think we at least at some level bought into about the expected effect of New York on New Jersey, we have at least 1 month of saying that maybe that is not the case.
Yeah, I will be the first to say growing up in the South and then moving out to the West Coast and never having lived in the Northeastern thing, I was very unaware that New Jersey had the population that it had. It's like you always just think of Jersey as the guys. I don't hate tweet me. I'm talking about what I was kind of like brought up thinking that New Jersey was kind of like New York's little stepchild or so, whatever. And that's how I viewed it. Little did I know until we started dealing with all this gambling stuff that it, ticks back and forth between the like 10th and 11th most populous state in the entire country, right? And so it's not like we're talking about little, a little market whenever we talk about Jersey in and of itself. Now, yes, is it way smaller than New York? Yeah, about half the size of New York as far as population goes. But man, it was interesting to me, and to see that it continues to strive and thrive in all of this, Adam, it does lead me to believe that one, I think that the culture growing up, I think in and around that area, I think that gambling was probably always at least a little bit more accepted as it was anyway, and that there's probably more people to willing to not only do it, but are maybe even a little bit better at it because they've been doing it for a longer period of time, and the churn isn't what we see from some of this other stuff. So yeah, it's just a very interesting case study with it all, with the people over there in Jersey.
And I think it goes back to something else that we kind of speculatively discussed a while ago. I just said speculatively. I can't get the words out this morning.
I like
speculatively.
It. Yes.
There it is. Oh, right. I'm back on the horse.
Specially, yes.
Sure, if you say so. Your words, not mine. So we discussed the fact that the New York tax rate is 51%. The New Jersey tax rate is more like 13%. And we wondered how long companies would be willing to push hard in New York for people to wager there based upon that tax rate. And let's just say, as a thought exercise, that in 2018, VIP services folks for a DraftKings or a FanDuel had someone who lived in New York and wanted to bring them over to New Jersey in the regulated market, wanted to develop that player there for both sports betting, for iGaming. Let's say that person, when New York started, said, I don't really want to have to make the trip over to New Jersey to be able to do this anymore. I want to do this from home. Could there potentially be some inducements given to someone of that size of a player to come back to New Jersey to say, listen, we'll send you the car. We'll give you better odds. We'll take a higher limit on something for you to come and play in New Jersey because it's ultimately more profitable for these companies to be able to have that player in New Jersey than it is in New York. So I think there could be multiple explanations here for what we see in New Jersey this month, but something we will clearly be tracking as we move forward because we know in New York the promos have pulled back in a significant way, and in New Jersey maybe it makes more sense for them to still be there.
And the one last little theory on my end as well is you mentioned iGaming, and there is still the cross sell that is involved, right? In iGaming, and we always think about the cross sell from sports betting to iGaming, but it works in reverse. Like there is the reverse, and you could have someone that is, you know, a slot player year round, and then they're not really interested all that much, but they like football a little bit. A bonus pops up, and you can kind of you might be able to acquire customers that way, and you might be able to even just retain customers that way too, right? Where it's like they're really a casino player, but you get them to make some bets here and there with different promos that you throw their way. And so I think there's at least some of that as well from my standpoint anyway. Of course, you guys will be able to kind of prove me right or wrong somewhere along the way.
Yeah, keep in mind, when you see $300,000 bet by a bettor in New Jersey, $500,000 bet by a bettor in New Jersey, that's not the sharpest player they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt about that.